The first room is the bathroom. The two things I chose for that are a chemical object are liquid soap and mold. Let's start with liquid soap. Liquid soap, the purpose of liquid soap is to act like as a mixture, allowing water to mix. When you rinse your hands with liquid soap and water, it carries the dirt and oils away. Now let's talk about mold. Mold usually grows in cracks between the bathtub and the wall. The cause of the mold is the humidity and the moisture. Our bathrooms don't usually have mold because we have installed fans to take away the moisture and humidity. You might think, what causes mold to grow? Well, it's usually dust or other organic sources that give the sources to mold to grow. Thank you. The second room is the kitchen. My chemical objects that I chose are the stickiness on the range hood and baking soda. Let's start with the stickiness on the range hood. Have you ever touched your range hood and felt that it was a little sticky? The reason why is because when you're frying something, the smoke from the pots or pans come up and it builds grease on top of the range hood. This is why you feel stickiness on it. Now let's do baking soda. Baking soda can be used for many things, but the thing I chose that it can be used for is cleaning things, such as pots. It can be used for cleaning things because it reacts with oily things. And baking soda has high pH, which means it's alkaline. And stains are usually acids, so baking soda makes them neutralized. Thank you. The third room is the living room. The two chemical things I chose for it the first one was the paint on the walls and the water in the fishbowl. You might see some walls are different from other walls, and the paint on some walls are different from other walls. The reason why is because when the sun comes in, it hits the paint on the walls, and then the temperature goes up while the paint was absorbing it. So that's why it might look different from something else. So you can see this one is a little lighter than that wall right there. Now let's talk about the fishbowl. Water can evaporate in many different ways, but for this one, it's because the sun was coming into and directly hitting the fishbowl water. Well, heat makes the water a little more faster to evaporate, because if you put the same amount of water in a dark room with no windows, it would evaporate slower. For example, a wet towel dries faster when it's exposed to heat. So same as this one. Thank you. The fourth room is the bedroom. The two chemical things that I chose for this room was hand sanitizer and dried tape. Let's start with hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer is made out of alcohol, water, and sometimes hydrogen peroxide. Bacteria or germs have a layer of fat around them to protect them, and alcohol is really good at breaking down those fats. So when you rub hand sanitizer in your hands, it will break down the bacteria, making your hands clean. Now let's talk about the dried tape. The example I used was this photo, which fell down a few days ago. I think this happened is because the temperature and the air from this window came out and dried the tape, so that's why it fell down. Thank you. The fifth room is the sunroom. The two chemical reactions that I chose is photosynthesis and eruption of the sunroom. Let's start with photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is when sunlight hits a plant's leaves and it absorbs it as their food, which makes them grow faster. Now let's talk about the bugs in the sun. Most people don't put rods into sunroof because the sun from outside hurts fabrics and a lot of other materials, so causing fading and easier to break down. Thank you. The room 6 is a garage, the last one. The two chemical things that I chose in this room is the rust on the tools and the gas in the car. Let's start with the rust on the tools. The rust on the tools is usually caused by the iron, water, and oxygen. In the garage, the water is the humidity, the oxygen is the air, and the iron is the iron on the tools. You can see there's a little rust on this tool. Rust is bad because when rust can spread and it can break the inside, which is technically just breaking the tool. Now let's talk about the gas in the car. When gas is in an engine, it mixes with the air, which makes a little spark, setting the gas on fire, which makes the wheels turn and the car move. Thank you.